and convince them that you should get paid and how much you should get paid. So make sure that's in your contract. Licensing required, but it's also a good idea otherwise. It has to be signed by your customer and by you. That's a licensing requirement for residential construction. So if you don't have a signature line for them, or a signature line for, more likely a signature line for you, that's a violation. So have that in there. You have to have your license number on the contract. That's, again, a requirement by the department. And so if you don't have your license number on your contract, it's a violation, $10,000. You have to have the performance guidelines we already talked about. You have to have all the reference disclosures that we talked about. That's not a must-have. Referencing those disclosures in your contract is a recommendation. And why do I recommend that? Because people are going to have foggy memories as to whether they were given things. And people don't necessarily lie. I always say people remember things in their own best interest. It's not going to be in their best interest to remember that they were provided all these disclosures. So make sure that your contract says that they were. Give a copy of all of these documents to your customer. That's a license requirement. So if you have change orders, if you have the initial contract, all of these disclosures, all of them are considered contract documents, and your customer is required to have copies of all of them by your licensing statute. Pre-lien notice, we're not going to go into that today, but if you are in direct contract with the owner on a residential project and don't have a pre-lien in your contract, you don't have lien rights. Now the statute I know says in the contract or within 10 days of contracting, and I can get into why it really has to be in the contract, but in any event, it has to be in your contract. And if you don't have the pre-lien notice in your contract, you've given up this leverage that you have called lien rights. So have it in your contract. Any cancellation terms, for example, where you have that we can, if we don't come to a price agreeable with the insurer, we're not doing the work, but you're also not responsible. Those are cancellation terms. They need to be in the contract. If there are any other kinds of cancellation terms, for example, if the customer doesn't pay you when they're supposed to, any other kinds of ones that you can think about, they need to be in the contract. Recommendation, not a requirement. Warranties. You have to give them that 1-2-10 warranty. If you have any alternate warranties in addition to the 1-2-10 warranty, they need to be in your contract. I'd reference the 1-2-10 warranty in your contract as well because it is a contract term. On the issue of alternate warranties to the 1-2-10, and for most of you it's really the 1-year workmanship because most of the work that you do isn't the mechanical or the structural. But if you have a warranty in addition to that, an installation warranty, a labor warranty, it needs to be spelled out well in writing. Don't just say we have a 5-year install warranty, because what does that mean? Does that mean it's transferable? Does that mean if there's a 65 mile an hour gale force winds that it still applies? Does that mean that if lightning strikes your house, you still provide it because you're insuring against everything? If you're going to have a warranty, you need to have it defined as to what that warranty is. But you also need to be careful and make it clear that it's an alternate warranty to the 1-2-10. Because if you don't do that, someone from the labor and industry may say that it's misleading or misrepresenting because you're required to provide the 1-2-10, and if you have a warranty that's somehow more restrictive than that 1-2-10, they'll say that that's misleading. So you want to make it quite clear that it's an alternate to, and it does not replace or reduce the 1-2-10 warranty. So you need to have that information as well. That's a recommendation. Any exclusions? Exclusions could be everything from acts of God, or that when we drop the dumpster on your driveway it can cause damage, or that if we drive a lift around the side of the yard and you haven't identified the underground sprinkler lines and we damage it, that we're not responsible because you should have identified those lines. Whatever kind of exclusions, we don't keep gates and doors closed so if Fifi runs out and gets run over, that's not our problem. Those need to be in your contract. And again, those are whatever you choose them to be, but think about some of these common problems that you run into and get them in your contract as exclusions. An attorney's fees provision. In the United States, unless there's a contract or a statute that says otherwise, everybody pays their own attorney's fees. Why not have your contract say that if you have to go after your customer for collection purposes, they're going to pay your lawyer as well as pay you. So have an attorney's fees provision in there. Don't just rely the lien statute, which also has a statutory attorney's fees at the judge's discretion. Don't have it discretionary. Have it mandatory, have it in your contract. That's a recommendation. A lot of this, from what I see, and I litigate a lot of this stuff, comes down to best practices. If you follow best practices, you're going to stay out of my practice. You're going to stay out of the litigation realm for the most part. And best practices, they're good for you and for business. They get you more referrals. It doesn't just keep you out of having problems. It helps make you money. Always use a written contract. I talked to somebody this morning. Knows better. Didn't use a written contract. Good luck. I'm going to have a hard time helping collect on that one. Always use a written contract. Change orders. If there's any change to the job, either if it's an increase or a deduct from the job, written change order. Not only is it a license requirement, but again, it establishes what your contract is. And if you have a contract dispute, it's extremely important to be able to establish what the contract was. Who fulfilled it? Who breached it? Have a construction lawyer look at your contracts annually. Now, I know that some of you guys have been using the same contracts for 7 years, 10 years. I also know, I saw it for a long time. You know, this company, I won't name it, you know, we got it from them. And they're a big company, and so that contract must be good. And I look at it, and 80% of the time that new clients come into my office, it's the same contract. It's from the same company. Everyone stole the same contract. And you know, it might have been a good contract 10 years ago. It's illegal now. There's all kinds of provisions in there that are unenforceable and that are illegal. There have been law changes so much in the last 5 years, every year, that even the contract you used 4 years ago is going to be no good. It's going to need to be changed. The contract that you used last year is going to be no good. It needs to be changed. So have a construction lawyer look at your contracts annually, because the laws, they keep changing. Get more of your money earlier, and especially in your industry. Everyone waits. Everyone says, you know, oh, don't worry about it. We get paid from your insurance company. Bullshit. You get paid from your customer. You don't have an agreement with the insurance company. The insurance company will tell you that. We're not bound by this contract. We're not contracting with you. Why do you all have your sales reps, or why do your sales reps go out and make that pitch? Don't worry. We get paid from your insurance company. We'll even help get the money from them. Your contract is with your customer. You get paid from your customer. Your work is done. You're entitled to be paid. You should get money down. You should maybe even get more money down than the first check from the insurance company. If the industry changes its practice, it's going to help you. It's going to help you collect more money, keep more money, make more profit. If you continue to sell that, don't worry, be happy, we're going to get money from your insurance company, and if they don't pay, I guess it's okay, it's our problem. Change that practice. Get more money down earlier, get your money at the end, get paid. Set your expectations with your customers, and that's part of your sales rep's job. So my grandma's dead now, but I remember she would call because the mailman didn't come, and Grandma would be all upset. Oh my, something must have happened. I said, Grandma, when was the mailman supposed to come? Oh, he always comes by about 11 o'clock. I look at my watch, it's 11:05. Grandma, it's only been 5 minutes. Don't worry, he'll be there. Wait, you know, 15 minutes, if he's not there, you can give me a call. You know, people can be goofy. People can have expectations that don't make sense. If you don't communicate with them, they think that you're ignoring them. They think that there's something bad there, rather than, hey, you know, it's not time to start the job, or we haven't come to a price with the insurance company. You haven't communicated with them to let them know what the status is. So they start to think about all these things that could be wrong, that you're trying to steal their money, things like that, which is not even, you know, it's not true. You need to set expectations early and often, and continue, even if it's no action, even if it's saying, hey, we're still working on it. You have that contact point. How are you doing, Mrs. Smith? Fine. What, you know, is there anything going on? Is there any problems? You know, has John come by? Yeah, he's coming by. And you know, did you have any issues with him? Did he do a good job? I mean, again, communicate with your customers. It'll help save a lot of jobs that will turn through not setting proper expectations. Fix it versus fight it. I can't tell you how many times you get this job from hell. They've sent you 500 emails, and they've called you even up to midnight at night and 7 times a day, and you're sick of the customer and you feel you've done nothing wrong and the work was perfect, and you're like, screw it, I'm done. I'm not going to do anything more. Well, when you do that, especially if it's somebody that's heated, recognize that they're going to make a complaint against you to the department. They're going to make a complaint to the Better Business Bureau. They're going to complain to the AG, and they may even start a lawsuit against you. All of that's going to cost you money in reputation. It's going to cost you money in legal fees to deal with. Fix it versus fight it is often a better approach. You can swear about the person before you get to their door. That son of a bitch, I can't stand him. But when you get to the door, you smile and say, Mrs. Jones, how are you? We're here to help. We're here to fix this thing. That'll save you a lot of money. I already talked about the sales reps, but they work for you. You don't work for them. They're there because they're there to help you sell your jobs. Sales reps are extremely important. I don't underestimate sales, so don't get me wrong. It's the biggest way for any company to make revenue, is to have a good sales force. But they work for you, and it's your license. And at the end of the day, they walk out with a check, and you walk out with the headaches. And if there's problems with the work, if there's problems with how they sold, you have to deal with it. And at the end of the day, it's your license. So protect your license. Train your sales reps. Make sure they understand what your requirements are. Make sure that you properly track what they're doing so that you know that when they don't do what they're supposed to do, you get rid of them. Because if you don't follow good practices like that, you're going to get in trouble. It's going to cost you a lot of money. And it may cost you your business. Listen to your gut. I've done that before where I've got a little bit more time and somebody comes in with a case that, my gut's telling me, don't take it on. It's going to be a pain in the ass. It's not going to be fun. You're not going to like it. It's like herding cats. But I take it on. And then I spend the next year kicking myself saying, why did I take that case on? I knew initially I shouldn't take it on. I knew it was going to be a problem case. I knew it was going to be a problem client. Why did I do that? Listen to your gut, because usually your gut is right. If it's going to be a problem customer, do you really want that customer? Do you want to do that job? I'll tell you, one bad job will take down 10 good jobs based on your margins. The cost of one bad job. Run fast, run hard away from bad jobs.